Alright. Hello everyone, and now welcome to a game, Romantic versus Happy, this game taking place here on Hammerfall. Romantic Fortitude spawning as the blue human player on the top left-hand side of the map. Meanwhile, on the bottom right, we have Happy spawning as the yellow undead. Gonna go ahead and speed things up to 4 times speed. Excuse me. Yeah, woke up early trying to, get some casting in, only to have hours and hours, or not hours, about a half hour to 45 minutes of not being able to connect to the internet. Eventually just was able to resolve the problem, but well, only gonna get in one cast today. For all you guys out there, thanks for watching, thanks for supporting the channel in any way, shape, or form. Well, definitely helps to have viewers when I create videos. Otherwise, well, then what's the point? Let's go ahead and, well, start the fight off here. Romantic gonna be bringing in water elementals, taking on the reef elementals here. And, well, on the southern side, we see a Lich first coming in from Happy. Lich first going to be going Frost Nova off on that Snapper, and now trying to go after these Reef Elementals that have medium armor. You can see that the Ghouls actually, and the Skeletal Minions actually deal a little bit more damage here. The Skeletal Minion purposely trying to back away now from that Huntsman, as the Skeletal Minions are actually doing a little bit of tanking as well. Beautifully done. Well done there. What was that? Was that an unsummoned building? It looked like it was an unsummoned building, but I can't quite tell. Oh, it was the Altar of Darkness. All right, so unsummoning that Altar of Darkness in order to get a little bit more resources and perhaps try and set up an expansion down here on the southern side. All right, Lich now sitting at level 2, Rod of Necromancy, 2 charges already used. Meanwhile, off to the north here, it looks as though Romantic going to be doing a similar strategy and trying to set up that expansion. Meanwhile, on the southern side here, up on the southern side of the northern base, I should say, militia being brought in to quickly clear out this null brood creep camp. And this is a great way to use all of these early peasants that you try and train up. By getting all of these early peasants out here onto the battlefield, essentially, oh, Ghoul, are we going to see some damage there? Nope, a little bit delayed there. We're going to see Gauntlets of Ogre Strength, Manual of Health picked up by that Archmage. Archmage sitting at level 3, already at 700 hit points, so that's actually fairly large there. As we're looking at more damage getting racked up. One more Fireball, yes, does get taken down. Footman going to get taken out, however, and both sides still trying to exchange some blows. Little bit of damage going back and forth. There's a Dark Ritual, and followed by another Frost Nova. Are we going to see a deny there? No deny. Lich gets up to level 3. Meanwhile, dual Water Elementals getting in quite a bit of damage and, well, just trying to focus down some of these Ghouls. All right, low hit point Footman down to 189 hit points. That will be forced to back away. Meanwhile, we see a Ziggurat already upgrading to that Nerubian tower, and this could potentially be a problem, as the Lich does have another bullet in the chamber for a Frost Nova, but may not be able to get it. Well, nope, that low hit point Footman coming back into the battle. That could be very, very bad news there. We're going to see some low hit point units continuing to dance back and forth. There goes the Skeletal Minion, as there goes that Frost Nova onto that totally suspecting Footman, as we all saw that coming pretty much a mile away. Now, Nerubian Tower is up. We are summoning or haunting that gold mine here. We can see that the Archmage is nearby and able to get in a little bit of damage. By attacking the units that are getting healed, well, they're just making sure that the Lich's damage actually stays on him. Meanwhile, off to the north here, Romantic nearly done setting up this expansion here. Does have an Arcane Tower, as we're still looking at a little bit of an exchange back and forth. That earlier illusion now aggroing units over Frost Nova from the Lich, getting the last hit there, as the Archmage now up to plus 12 damage. However, while taking quite a bit of damage here, as we see a gift-wrapped Water Elemental. Well, no one gonna be unwrapping that gift here, as the Archmage is still trying to keep a little bit of distance from that Lich there. Lich is sitting at level, that was a new illusion. So Archmage coming back around here could have a little bit of trouble. Water Elemental now making its way back around here. We're going to see perhaps a potential surround. No, Water Elemental purposely backing away and should be able to, well, dissolve due to its timed life. Now, the tech to tier 2 has started for Romantic. Happy still a little bit not starting just quite yet. We're looking and waiting for this haunted gold mine to be finished finished summoning. Meanwhile, Happy coming across here and gonna once more put in a lot of pressure. This could potentially be very bad news. Archmage trying to finish off a ghoul, unable to do that as we see another beautiful deny again. One more final shot onto that ghoul there. There's going to be a little bit of a fireball, and now trying to back away again. That Archmage with that extra bit of hit points making a very drastic difference. Normally the Archmage does not have 750 hit points this early in the game. Extra 75 hit points plus another, I think, 2 manuals of health, giving an extra 175 hit points at this point. Plus that circlet of nobility as well. Alright, so yeah, 175 hit points all around. Alright, we're going to see a scroll of regeneration. Archmage also used a clarity potion. Boots of speed on the Archmage. There's a skeletal minion going to perhaps try and do a couple of love taps here. This potentially could be very dangerous as the Lich could be nearby. And it looks as though the Lich, well, continuing to just use that dark ritual to get a bit more mana. Off to the north side. Forest Troll Warlord going to attempt to take down this water elemental. Going to be able to do that pretty easily. Scroll of the Beast. Archmage has another scroll of regeneration ready to go. Should be using that up and then picking up that scroll of the Beast here as we see a big Frost Nova go down onto that Footman there. Footman not getting denied. Water elemental trying to engage. Low hit point Footman trying to back away. Good jumps into the Zeppelin. As we're looking at this slight engagement still going down here. Archmage sitting at level 3, not going to be able to get to level 4. Goblin Shredder, well, there is room for the Goblin Shredder. Goblin Shredder, however, just going to be walking back perhaps off to the north as Romantic sets up the Blacksmith and some additional farms. Tech to tier 2 nearly done. We should be getting in some Riflemen, training up the Mountain King, and then also perhaps trying to get some Arcane Sanctums as well, or perhaps going straight into Knights. Trying to go straight into Knights and Flying Machines. There's that castle upgrade, so completely bypassing the Riflemen, getting the Blacksmith for the workshops here momentarily, as we see that, well, Romantic needs a little bit more lumber again. Lich sitting at level 3 here, going to finish off this Forest Troll Warlord. Water Elemental does spot all of this going down, going to turn into a giant puddle though, as we are looking at no Death Knight yet, as the Necropolis just now getting finished upgrading to tier 2. Archmage looking to, well, finish off a Kobold Geomancer here. Water Elemental tanking quite a bit of damage. Again, there's that level 4 giving level 2 Brilliance Aura. There's that Death Knight that we were expecting, and that Mountain King alongside the workshops for those Flying Machines. Alright, this Sasquatch going to get cleaned up here. Forest Troll or Berserker is getting taken down, and the Archmage just going to inch closer to level 5, but anyone who's played WarCraft 3 knows the amount of time it takes to get to level 5 from level 4. Seemingly forever and a day, unless there's a bloodbath between the two major armies. Lich gets to level 4 as well. Gonna be going for level 2 Dark Ritual, most likely. Mountain King is out on the battlefield. Archmage may try to drop Water Elementals and allow the Mountain King to creep by himself, as the Mountain King places down some Ivory Towers. Alright, are we looking at another expansion attempt, or perhaps just a little bit of scouting here, as the Lich going to come nearby? Mountain King is nearby here. There's going to be a Frost Nova. Mountain King going to go ahead and pick up some items, and now are we going to see a Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich could be in a little bit of trouble, as the Mountain King's going to get in front. Oh, this could be very, very bad news. Lich could be in trouble. We're going to see a Stormbolt. No, we do not. Death Knight. Not going to be able to get a Death Coil off to save, but the Scroll of Town Portal was in fact in time. Cannon Tower now getting upgraded here, so the Scout Tower actually absorbing a little bit of damage, needs to get some repairs. Perhaps a peasant or two will make its way down. Alright, we are sitting on 1,600 gold. Meanwhile, Happy just spent a good amount of his gold as well. What did he try and grab? We can see a Goblin Zeppelin nearby here as an army, or the armies are still going to engage. Mountain King sitting at level 1. Should be able to get to level 2 here. Picks up a Potion of Invulnerability, and now going to clean up the Sasquatch Creek camp. Meanwhile, Skeletal Minions looking to get some damage onto this Peasant here. The Peasant just going to back around, a little bit of damage still going around back and forth, as the Archmage continuing to clear out some relatively difficult creep camps. Mountain King is sitting at level 2. Archmage is sitting at 4. Mountain King or Archmage, who's going to get to that next odd level first? That is the question, as we now see the Death Knight and the Lich now making their rounds as well. There's a Cannon Tower already up. Cannon Tower is going to be doing a little bit of blasting back and forth. That Scout Tower going to get taken down as the Mountain King comes in from behind. Perhaps going to get a Stormbolt onto a Ghoul. Death Knight, Death Coil saving that Ghoul here, but it still may end up getting taken down. One more final shot. There it goes. Cannon Tower about to get taken down. There it goes as no. There it finally goes. Death Knight not going to be able to save the Crypt Fiend, but we do see a deny there. There goes another Scroll of Town Portal. Mountain King may try to go after that Crypt Fiend, but not enough time. There's Mortar Teams, Knights, Militia have made their way back over. Perhaps the Mortar Teams are just going to try and put pressure here, as we're looking at 68 supply compared to 60 over 70. Remember, 2 Scrolls of Town Portal were used. That is a significant amount of resources lost here. And now the Mountain King looking to try and get to level 3, or the Archmage looking to get to level 5, or perhaps even both. Healing wards are now down. Paladin should be joining in on the battle as well, but the Paladin may actually be taking some of that precious experience. What's going to happen here? Who's going to pick up the healing wards? There's the healing wards. We also see a Staff of Sanctuary, as we now see the healing ward being placed down here. The Death Knight trying to make its way over does stop the healing ward. There's a Death Coil onto the Lich. Both sides still battling up. There's a couple of webs as well, as we see a Holy Light trying to save that Mortar Team in the back position. Crypt Fiend getting taken down. Mountain King up to level 3. And we're still looking at the Archmage now getting up to level 5. Mountain King could perhaps try to bolt down some of these other units. There's another Holy Light again. 71 supply compared to 55, but somehow Romantic is still losing quite a bit of units here, as both sides are still engaging. Mortar Team still lobbing more attacks here. There goes a Ghoul. Mountain King is currently silenced by that Dark Ranger, as the skeletal minions the skeletal warriors from the Necromancers, well, really bringing up this pop-up army. Paladin now sitting at level 2, doesn't go for Devotion or Divine Shield yet, as both sides are still fighting. Alright, Mountain King could be in trouble. Potion of Invulnerability in time. Paladin should be coming across with a Holy Light here in just a moment to try and keep those units alive here, as the Lich could be in trouble. No, Death Coil in time. Mountain King now in a little bit of trouble here, as the Lich is trying to retreat back. We're looking at still more damage, as more damage is still just raining from the skies. Meat wagons, obsidian statues, necromancers, dark ranger, both sides fighting. There's some healing wards being placed down as well, and that healing ward is going to be able to provide a little bit of cover as that skeletal mage finally gets that auto attack in. 70 supply over 82. You can see an expansion now being placed down as well, but a crazy tempo fight. We are at tier 3 with expos, and this is only 14 minutes into this game. Level 5, level 3, level 2 going up against 4-2-1. Dark Ranger with Silence first really slowing down a lot of the human play efforts, as we're about to engage again. There's another Stormbolt going down here. Death Coil onto the Lich. No Orb of Fire. That's going to be a big difference, as those heals are just going to be doing that full amount right now. Meanwhile, Skeletal Mages and Minions are diving across in here. Staff of Sanctuary for the save. There's only one Staff of Sanctuary right now for Romantic, as one of those knights is about to get taken down. Alright, Water Elemental's taken down. That's going to be a lot of experience given, as the Death Knight may get to level 3 in this battle. Stormbolt onto the Lich. Lich could be in trouble. Lich gets taken down, as the Mountain King now looking to back up. Alright, just trying to fight in this narrow walkway. There's another healing ward in the back. That's going to be auto-attacked by the Skeletal Mages again, as the Riflemen joining in on the fight as well. Mortar Teams could get in a couple of lobbing attacks, and now retreating back to the Arcane Towers. 60 supply compared to 55, and this is going to be a little bit of a dangerous spot. We need to see some repairs onto those Arcane Towers, as well as the Skeletal Mages are just diving across in here. Meanwhile, the Meat Wagons are going to be able to lob into those attacks pretty quickly, and this is not going well at all. Happy not having to deal with any priest. These Skeletal Mages, 12 to 14 range damage, really racking up quite a bit, as the Mortar Teams are unable to actually get damage onto those Necromancers. Alright, Mountain King's now sitting at level 4, does have level 2 Bash instead of level 2 Thunderclap. Thunderclap could actually clear out a lot of these relatively low hit point units, as the Disease Cloud now being brought around. Paladin now gets up to level 3, and that level 3 Paladin could, get in more Holy Lights here, as both sides still fighting. Archmage at level 5.5, nearing level 6 pretty quickly here, as both sides are still fighting their way through. Mortar Teams need to get in some attacks onto those Necromancers and their unarmored type, as the Skeletal Mages are just going to be replaced pretty quickly. Alright, both sides still fighting their way through. Skeletal Mages continuing to attack here. We're looking at Knights trying to dive in onto this position. as the mortar teams are lobbing in attacks. Death Knight finds a rifleman in the back here. 72 supply compared to 69. Reinforcements should be coming in faster for Romantic, but it's just all of these mages with the obsidian statues able to provide mana, and well, so many corpses out here on the battlefield. Water Elemental about to get taken down. More lobbing attacks here as well. We're looking at some dispels. Finally, the Priest able to get in some big dispels as the Mountain King looks to perhaps try to get a Stormbolt off or finish off some of these additional units. Mountain King needs to turn back around, and you can see a low hit point obsidian statue in the back there as the meat wagons now push their way through once more. Are we going to perhaps see a little bit more Holy Light again? Archmage sitting at level 5. Mortar teams now retreating back up here. Goblin Zeppelin providing sight up onto the high ground. Priests need to get in a lot of heals, and this expansion is pretty much going to get cleaned up easily. The ghouls are upgraded at 1-0. We're going to look at a scroll of regeneration as the meat wagons are just lobbing attacks and going to try to disrupt a lot of this healing. And here we are, here we go, diving into this position. Lich now back out onto the battlefield. A new round of skeletal mages and skeletal minions now out here onto the battlefield as well. We're trying to get some dispels, but the dispels hitting the ghouls instead of hitting the skeletal mages here. That is going to be a problem as the mortar teams are now able to finally lob in some attacks, get those obsidian statues down. All right, Paladin sitting at 3, and the Archmage is getting now up to level 6 as we see some more Staff of Sanctuaries coming across. All right, Mass Teleport is available and on the table, but is it going to be useful in this current battle as the mortar teams, those fragmentation shards, finally finding their target? 74 supply compared to 53, and now Happy is in a bit of trouble as it seems like critical mass has been reached by Romantic, getting some priests having a lot of gold in the bank, and just having a significant supply advantage. All right, Mass Teleport in order to do a tactical retreat back over here to the Arcane Vault. They're going to do a little bit of healing. There's a Frost Nova that disrupts some of that healing. Perhaps another Staff of Sanctuary will be necessary to teleport a unit back home. Mountain King just shy of level 5 now. That is going to be a big deal indeed. Paladin sitting at level 3, nearly level 4. Level 2 Devotion Aura could be offered up. Off to the north here, we see a cannon tower and goblin shredder here. Mass teleport is already available, and that, I believe, is what we're looking at now, being able to teleport and move across the battlefield easily. No, that was a scroll of town portal. All right, so Archmage actually used the scroll of town portal in order to get into position here. There's a Stormbolt onto the Death Knight, which was, well, shaken off simply by that scroll of town portal there. Meanwhile, ghouls are now making their way back across here. There is another mass teleport. Perhaps they're going to land a couple of easy kills there. Going to finish off a couple of these ghouls as we're looking at a scout tower, perhaps upgrade to a cannon or cannon tower. Or, yep, it is going to be a cannon tower. 80 supply going up against 67. Meanwhile, Death Knight, Lich getting ready to engage against the human army once more. Archmage does have decent mana, going to be able to get in position. Oh, Mortar Team gets a Holy Light, is going to be able to stay alive. The Mortar Team should not be in the front, trying to retreat all the way to the back, down to 9 hit points. Does get Staff of Sanctuary, a final attack there. Meanwhile, we're looking at more engagements again, but Happy just pretty much unable to capitalize on that Necromancer push. He was able to push out and really catch Romantic off guard, as Romantic didn't have those priests and the Mountain King had gone for Bash over Thunderclap. It really felt like those skeletal mages would have been able to do a lot more damage. But once those priests were online and Dispel magic was available, you saw that AoE damage and then how quickly that translated into experience for the human heroes. Let me know what you guys thought about this game in the comments below.